This is my Siguature project, stage 2. The correlation between book tastings and checking out books from the school library. The problem is that fewer students check out books from the school library. Over the last few years, there has been a decline in the number of books students check out. Librarians look at current trends to help find ways to inspire their students to read. Students not being exposed to the different genres and books in the library might be the cause of their not being excited about reading. So, the more exposure they get to books in the library, the better chance they will read their library book and return to check out more books. So this is a chart just showing just over one school year how the numbers went down as it got closer to the end of the school year. The purpose of the study is to see if hosting a book studies will increase the number of books being checked out at the school library. The overall goal of a librarian is to inspire students to read. The project will look at book tastings as one way to encourage their love for reading. So looking back at the literature, one was inspired by a Twitter post. They drew on hosting a modern book tasting in an elementary classroom. After students explored different book genres at the book tasting, they worked in groups and made a book trailer about their favorite genre. The article shared how they adapted the assignments to meet students with learning disabilities and different reading levels. After they did the book tasting and did their trailers, they shared their trailers so everybody could see the different books that they chose to do their project on. An article in the New Atlanta Journal talks about how her students found new books and genres that interest them after she hosted a book tasting. The books were arranged for a different age level according to what they were learning about in the library. For example, fiction and nonfiction were the areas for kindergarten students since they were learning the difference between fiction and nonfiction book. The students loved the book tasting events and asked when they would have another book tasting. They stressed the importance of providing time and materials to write down their favorite sections and opinions of the books and genres supplied at the event. The students stated that the students were engaged and excited about reading. And another one described the book tasting as an effective way to encourage students to discuss and decide what book to read. The literature discussed how similar events that allowed 5th grade boys to examine genres that interested them increased the number of books the boys read. A similar article discussed having a book tasting for teachers and how it changed the teacher's impression of the books available in the library. The population. So we're going to look at the sample population will consist of 2 3rd grade classes at a pre-K through 8th grade school in South Alabama. Students in 3rd grade at Sunshine School who return their consent form will participate. The study will have 48 3rd grade students from 2 3rd grade classes. The group was chosen because they have a good reading foundation and are still young. The 3rd grade is a good representation of the school's diversity and population. So the sample will include all students in 3rd grade who return their consent form. The sample is a non-random sample of participants. If the students in Group A don't attend the book tasting, they will be in 3rd grade Group B. So here's just a graph just showing what the students were checking out before. Most every student checked out every time they went to the library. In between, they had just a couple of students going back and forth checking out books. Hosting book tastings will increase the number of books checked out from the school library. The librarian will offer a book tasting to the 3rd grade class A that return their consent form. The librarian will have 5 tables set up like a coffee shop, and the students will come in, get a menu, a pencil, and sit at one of the 5 tables. The 5 tables will have a centerpiece announcing the genre. The 5 genres used in this study is mystery, historical fiction, science fiction, realistic fiction, and graphic novels. Students will review and discuss the books at their table. They will then write down the author and title of the books. They will write down at least one book they would like to read and stating why. When the bell rings, they will move to the following table. After visiting all 5 tables, they will have a small snack and a drink and decide what books they would like to check out and read. The other 3rd grade class, Class B, will not attend a book tasting. They will still visit the library at their regular library time and be encouraged to check out books. Once they finish reading their library books, they may return anytime during open checkout and check out more books. We will see if students who attended the book tasting in the Class A will increase the number of books they exchange. The sampling technique is a typical sample. It will use all the students in 3rd grade who return the consent form. Both classes are typical students of Sunshine School. They are equal classes as administration looks at gender, academic level, behaviors when dividing students into the 3rd grade classes. Collaboration efforts. The librarian will host a book tasting during library time. The classroom teacher will allow students opportunities throughout the day to go to the library and check out books. Procedure. Review the checkout data on the 2 3rd grade classes. During the first week of the 3rd grade library class, hold a book tasting for 3rd grade Class A. Then offer a time to check out books. Remind them that when they read that book, they may return it and check out another book. During the 3rd grade B library class, read them part of a chapter book and discuss it, then offer them a time to check out a book. Remind them that once they read that book, they may return it and check out another book. They don't have to wait till the next night library time, and I would explain this to both of those classes. On Friday afternoon of each week, chart the data of books checked out that week by students in 3rd grade Class A and Class B. After 4 weeks, I will review the data and see if there is a correlation between the students who attended the book tasting and the number of books they checked out. We'll have to see if it increased. This study will use the Sunshine School Library Checkout System. The system is reliable. The system is a great way to measure the books checked out from the library. Some limitations that could affect the study are students from Class A may tell a student from Class B about a book they enjoy reading. Because other students recommend it, students in Class B may check out the books also. Students could hear about books through social media. Social media may affect the study depending on the age and the screen time. It may affect them in a good way by telling them books to read, or it may affect them because they'd rather do that, look at social media, than read a book. Parents and teachers could encourage these children to read or tell them about books they will enjoy. The outside variable is also the classroom library where they could borrow books. The data will be collected over 4 weeks to see if the book tasting impacts the number of books checked out from the school library by 3rd grade students. The participants are confidential. The data will only look at the 3rd grade data, such as who went to the book tasting in Group A and who did not attend the book tasting in Group B. So no one will examine individual students' data. We will only look at Group A and Group B as a group, not individually. The impact of the book tasting is that students will develop a love of reading and they will check out more books. They will find new genres and enjoy reading, and students will read for enjoyment instead of just because they This research project was not actually completed. It was just an example of a project I could do. My prediction is there will be an increase in the number of books students are checking out after attending a book tasting. A book tasting is a great way to show the students all the books you have in the library and what you have to offer, and I feel that it will at least increase on a small margin, if not a larger one. I hope to see more students checking out books from the school library and find some other activities I could do to help inspire them to read. So this is just a prediction graph that I made up. So they were just checking out, each student was checking out one book, pretty much just because they were there in the library and told, hey, it's checkout time. But now you see an increase in that class A. They got the books that went to the book tasting. At least half of them, or a little under half, came back and checked out another book before it was time to go back to library time. And you can see Group B still has just 2 or 3 books checked out in between. So that's my prediction, is at least, close to half of them will check out some more books and begin to read for enjoyment. So my goal is to inspire students to read and increase the number of books students are checking out. So I would review some more current trends that's going on, especially some social media stuff, just to see what's out there that students might enjoy, and get some ideas of some books to read. I might compare 2 trends instead of just saying the class that gets together book tasting and the class that don't. Compare it with something else other than just a book tasting. Compare it with another trend of a way to get them to enjoy the books in the library and learn more about them. I might also include some kind of accelerated reading program to help track the independent reading and make sure the students are actually reading the book before they return it. I might also offer some incentives to see if that would help increase the number of books being read. So I look forward to being a future librarian, and hopefully I can increase and inspire my students to read for enjoyment reasons. So thank you.